We continue our big game coverage previews with Justin Rockets, one of the winningest programs in the entire state, led by head coach Mark Soto. The Rockets went 5-7 overall last season, 2-3 in district, while advancing to the area round of the playoffs. The Rockets have 13 starters coming back, 6 on offense, 7 on defense. Dave Campbell has them ranked 40th in the state in Class 6A, and he predicts that the Rockets are going to finish second in District 27 6A behind the Steel Knights, who we previewed yesterday at 6. Advancing to the second round is a step in the right direction, but the Rockets expect more this season.
That was very important because the year before we didn't make it how we should have. So I feel like us getting as far as we did is going to change the aspect of this coming season.
I think it was very important. You know, you're built by your experiences, and having the experience of going 2 rounds in the playoffs was good for us. So we just want to stack success on success. So we're looking for more than 2 rounds.
All right, Justin, going to kick off the season Friday night, August 25th, 7:30. They will host Johnson at Rutledge Stadium. That's a pretty good way to kick off the season. All right, let's step up to local college programs just north of downtown. The University of the Incarnate Word Cardinals. Head coach Clint Killow is leading his first fall camp at UIW. He's got some talented quarterbacks on his roster, such as Luke Gombert, Richard Torres, and Zach Calzada. That is a guy with some big-time conference experience. He spent 4 seasons in the SEC with Texas A&M and Auburn, and now he's in the 210, and he says so far so good.
The process is going exactly how we knew it was going to go. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but the biggest thing is we got to keep our focus and really just be intentional about how we're doing things. We come out to practice, we come in our meetings, we stay intentional, and throughout all the ups and the downs, it's coming together. The defense is doing a great job, and the offense is doing a great job. Our wide receivers are doing a great job getting open, fighting for the ball. Our O-line, run blocking, pass blocking, and our running backs are doing really well. So I'm proud of the guys and how we're moving forward.
Cardinals are going to start the season Saturday, September 2nd at UTEP, 8 o'clock evening kickoff. A little further north of I-35 to Texas State University. Check in on the Bobcats, Eat 'em Up Cats, getting ready for their first season under head coach G.J. Keene. And for their 11th season in the Sun Belt Conference. They haven't had a winning campaign since 2014, and Keeney is here to change that. He was asked what position is the most challenging to evaluate at his stage of the camp.
Probably the quarterbacks, just because you're not live. You're not live. When someone gets close to you, you blow the whistle. So probably the quarterback position. You can talk to them about your eyes and all that. And someone's tackling you, and you got to avoid the rush and all that. So the quarterback, I think, the position's always the hardest to evaluate. So, we'll continue to do the best job we can of putting these guys in tough situations and kind of seeing how they respond. But, yeah, I would say quarterback.
Bobcats going to open the season Saturday, September 2nd at Baylor. Kickoff set for 6 o'clock at McLean Stadium. Right,
football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
College and now the pros. C.J. Stroud era will officially start when the Texans open the season tomorrow night on the road. He was drafted 2nd overall this spring, and he's hoping to lead the Texans back into a playoff contender. Here's Coach Ryans on why he's starting the rookie tomorrow night in the preseason.
It's this preseason game here. It was my decision for him to go out first. He's been working with our first team for the past couple of days, continue to stay along that same track. As of right now, for this game coming up, this preseason game versus Patriots, CJ will go out first. Davis will play as well. That's the decision that we made.
Rookie edge rusher Will Anderson Jr. will also start. He was a 3rd overall pick back in April. He's the early favorite to win the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. Kickoff is Thursday night at 6 o'clock in Foxborough.
They all played extracurricular sports.
Yeah, they did.
I can kind of tell. All right, new today at 5. Personal comments, even those 3 or 5-star ratings, they do help us decide whether or not to buy a particular service or product. But are we being deceived? We're going to take a look at fake online reviews today at 5 after Entertainment Tonight. The waterfront dock fight in Alabama over the weekend still sending ripples throughout the nation. It's a social media video that is now a viral piece of evidence that investigators are using to make some new arrests. DeMarco Morgan, who tells us who is in custody and who else they're now looking for.
This morning, police in Montgomery, Alabama, issuing several arrest warrants in that riverfront brawl, now gone viral after the incident was caught on several cameras from multiple angles. 48-year-old Richard Roberts, 23-year-old Alan Todd, and 25-year-old Zachary Shipman are all facing third-degree assault charges.
We're better than that, and that we're a fun city, and we don't want this type of activity to shed a dark eye on what this city is all about.
Eyewitnesses say the dispute began when a black boat captain tried to move a pontoon boat parked at a spot meant for the city's riverboat. A group of white people attacked and overwhelmed the city employee. That's when a number of bystanders, majority of them black, jumped in to defend him.
Working with the local FBI, we did examine if there was enough to file hate crimes charges on this case. We've also looked at what it takes to elevate this to a riot, inciting a riot, and it didn't fit the criteria for that.
Authorities also want to speak with this man, believed to be Reggie Gray, the man seen swinging a folding chair and making contact with two people involved in the fight. Investigators are also asking for the public's help with additional evidence. Police saying no one is off limits and more arrests could come.
I don't think we're near finished. We have a lot more work to do.
Ohio voters defeated a Republican-backed measure that would have made it more difficult to change the state's constitution. The win for the opposition means that only a simple majority is needed for passing future constitutional amendments rather than the 60% supermajority the Republican legislators proposed. Voter opposition to the proposal was widespread. Even traditionally Republican territories voted against the measure. Turnout surpassed the number of people who cast ballots in last year's governor, U.S., Senate, and House races.
Those orange buoys deployed by Texas in the Rio Grande, likely one of the main topics discussed when Mexico's top diplomat visits with our Secretary of State today. She is visiting Washington, D.C., meeting with Antony Blinken and other U.S. officials. They're also likely to discuss the surge of fentanyl and the trafficking of firearms across the border. Mexico recently asked that those buoys be removed from Texas waters, but Governor Greg Abbott says he will not.
The second Republican presidential primary debate will be hosted by Fox Business, Univision, and Rumble will partner with Fox Business for the debate. It's set for September 27th at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley, California. Fox will also air the first GOP primary debate. It'll be on Fox News on August 23rd in Milwaukee. The RNC is imposing stricter rules for presidential candidates to qualify for the second debate. CNN reporting candidates will need at least 3% in two national polls, or they need 3% in one national poll and two polls from separate early voting states. Candidates must also have the support of a minimum of 40,000 donors, with at least 200 of them in 20 or more states. Outside with Live Cam, you see those fires, and you know we are dry as a bone, and it kind of scares you a little bit to think that it doesn't take much to spark one, and then the next thing you know,
we all should take notes on this.
It makes you nervous, and you think about what happened in Austin too. I mean, that was in a populated area. As soon as I saw some of that on social media yesterday, I was worried for that area of Austin. Thankfully, they have gotten that fire under control, but it's an example of what can happen in these conditions. Switching gears a little bit, I want to welcome some kids back to school. This is Teddy and Lizzie, their first day of school at Idea Academy. And it looks like Teddy's going into the 7th grade, Lizzie 5th grade. I hope you guys had a great first day of school. And keep the pictures coming. We love seeing these. We love that back to school feeling. It kind of puts you in kind of thinking about cooler weather at least a little bit as the kiddos head back. I know the bus stops can be sweltering this time of year. As we look at the numbers across the country, still some cool stuff up to the north, 70s, 60s. Sounds great. It just will not, that kind of cooler air will not come down to Texas. And you look at Wichita Falls, that's incredible. 104 at this hour. They're forecast to be somewhere around 110 this afternoon. Amarillo's kind of the one quote-unquote cool spot, 80 there. They're not going to be as hot today, but most of the state will be right back where they were yesterday into the triple digits. It's another CPS Energy yellow day, so we've got to try to conserve some of that energy between 3 and 8 p.m. There's some examples of things you can do, like charge your electric vehicle at night after 10 p.m. And I know ERCOT's keeping close watch on the grid today and over the next several days as this heat wave is not letting up. anytime soon, guys.
Thanks so much, Justin. You're just a few thousand steps from being a healthier you. What a new study says would be your magic number when it comes to steps.
And after significant declines in routine vaccinations during the COVID-19 pandemic, global health officials say immunization numbers are inching back up, but there are still a lot of kids who don't have the vaccines they need. Why doctors say those shots are important.
Around the world, millions of children are missing out on their vaccines, and those vaccines could save their lives.
CNN's Mandy Gaither has more on why routine vaccines are critical in honor of National Immunization Awareness Month.
It's a way to protect your health and guard against getting others sick.
Immunizations protect against severe disease and illness, disability, and even death.
Dr. Neha V.S. with Cleveland Clinic says for adults, routine vaccinations include a tetanus shot, shingles vaccines for those over 50 or immunocompromised. The CDC recommends 2 doses separated by 2 to 6 months. A vaccine protecting against pneumonia, along with an annual fall flu shot. She says to also make sure you're up to date on your COVID-19 vaccinations.
And a new one called the RSV vaccine, which is respiratory syncytial virus, and it's for adults ages 60 years and older.
For children, VIA says routine vaccinations also include tetanus, pneumonia, flu, and being up to date on COVID-19 boosters. She says meningococcal vaccines and the vaccine to protect against the human papillomavirus should also be given.
Children have a very strong immune response, so the younger they are, the more they can develop a healthy immune response.
There are also simple steps you can take to stay healthy beyond vaccines.
Proper hand washing techniques, staying home when you're sick, and also don't forget to wear masks if you're around crowded areas and you're not feeling well.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
As few as 4,000 steps a day could reduce your risk of death. That's according to a new study published Tuesday in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology. Experts found that walking a minimum of 4,000 steps a day significantly reduces the risk of early death. But they also say more steps are better. As the step count goes up, so do the benefits of the health. For every increase of 500 to 1,000 steps a day, you could get significant mortality reductions. Getting in 20,000 steps a day saw the greatest benefit.
You better get up bright and early to get those steps in around here.
How many steps are you at right now, Justin? You got long strides, so that's a lot of coverage.
Yeah, I'm still waiting till like 9 p.m. It's like my bedtime, and that's when I get out and take the dog for a walk because it's still hot. It's a little more tolerable. 91 so far today, actually down a little bit from what we've seen last couple of days at this time. The average is 97. This is the hottest time of year, climatologically speaking, but we'll still be above that average. The record is 106, set back in 1953. Looks like we may stay just below that number. That's some good news. But more heat on the way. We'll talk about the 7-day forecast and when this finally might end coming up.
Or you can just get all your steps in walking around the studio.
Well, it's funny. I look at Justin, and he takes 1 step for every 4 I take.
So those things don't really count.
They add up for me, not so much for you.
Do we still have mall walkers? Remember that?
Oh, yeah. We still do.
I'm sure there still are.
It's important, especially right now.
A good thing to do, yeah.
I noticed in my neighborhood, most of the people are walking at sunrise.
Yes, that's probably the best time, honestly. That's when it's at its coolest. Temperatures get down to about 80.
Term, isn't it?
So relative.
It's still warm.
And we've kind of, as meteorologists here at KSAT, we've kind of rethinking how do we explain this heat in what terms? And we've been looking at some of the averages and stuff like that, but we've also been looking at the number of 100-degree days. I think that kind of resonates a little bit about just how hot it's been, how I wrap my mind around this heat. And you look at June, we had several 100-degree days, mainly late in the month. And then as we got into July, it was almost the entire month where we were above 100, and you see some big numbers there. You get to August, it's been every day in the month of August. We've been above 100, and the last 3 days we've been at 105. We're forecasting to do that again. So when you add it all up, this is 43 days now at 100 plus. Today would make 44. Since June 16th, which was our first 100-degree day, 80% of our days have been at 100 plus. That's a pretty incredible stat. And we've had 17 record highs throughout all of that. So what a stretch. And, you know, I think having one summer like this, okay, we can deal with it. But when you put it back to back, 2022 and 2023, that's when we're really kind of in a rough situation here. And again, the forecast high temperatures today, right back to around 105. 103 perhaps in Gonzales, 104 in Kennedy, but higher humidity there, so that feels like number is going to be a little bit higher. As we look at rainfall, this is another aspect of all this because it has been so very dry. This is contributing to the heat as well and just the overall drought conditions. It has been so many months, basically 2 years now, that we're going without good rainfall. Now, the one exception was April of this year, when we had above average precipitation. We had a couple weeks there where things were really good. It was looking better. And then we fell off again. And basically, you got to go back to October 2021 before you get back into good rainfall numbers. So, yes, it has been a stretch with the heat and a stretch with lack of rainfall. And as we look at the potential rainfall over the next 10 days, it's still the same situation. Whole right over Texas because of that ridge of high pressure. Folks to the east, you're getting a ton of rain. It'll be good rain over the next 10 days. Some monsoonal rains out west, but we're caught in the middle where there's nothing. And I keep looking through the models each and every day, thinking I'm going to find something to bring us rain here in South Texas, and it's just not happening. So 91 right now. Dew point is 73. Heat index 99. Dew point trend today, those numbers will come down, but maybe not as much as yesterday. So there still will probably be a heat index even into the afternoon. Not a huge one, but you may have to tack on a degree or two for the feels like number. Heat index right now feels like 99 here in town, but most of Bexar County feels like it's in the triple digits already. And this number will only grow as we get into the afternoon. Relative humidity does come down some, but not as low as previous days. There is still a fire concern, but maybe not as bad as it was yesterday. We can't let our guard down because it's still a serious issue. And you see the temperatures, 105 today, 109 in Laredo, 109 San Angelo, 106 Dallas. It is hot everywhere across the Lone Star State. 106 Thursday, 106 Friday. Yeah, triple digits. You know the drill here all the way into next week. Hold out hope, though. As I said this morning with our push alert, there will be changes eventually. Fall, winter. We're holding out hope for El Nino to bring us some good changes by then, guys.
Fall comes every year. It really does.
It does.
And so does back to school. And so does the need for bus drivers, apparently. What it takes to snag a bus driving job. We'll tell you if you want to do that. Coming up next.
The school year has arrived for some districts, and others like Northeast ISD are looking for more bus drivers.
KSAT producer Haley Powers explains what the district is doing to hire drivers, even if they don't have a commercial driver's license.
In less than a week, kids within Northeast ISD will be heading to the classroom, and many of those kids will be getting there by the school bus. Any ISD has 230 bus routes, and right now, they are about 45 drivers short of filling those routes. They are encouraging people to apply by offering new bus drivers a signing bonus of up to $2,000 if they already have a commercial driver's license. They're also offering a $1,000 signing bonus for those who do not. To apply, you need a CDL. If you don't have one, any ISD will provide paid training for you to get one. You will need to pass a Department of Transportation physical and have to pass a safety test.
It's a lot of responsibility. It's a big 38.5-foot bus, weighs a lot. We're carrying a lot of precious cargo. And we have a motto, drive safe, drive friendly.
A normal day for drivers starts around 6 in the morning. Elementary kids are taken to school first, then middle, then high school. After about 3 hours of driving in the morning, drivers get a break. Then they do it again from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. Each driver will use the same route every day.
After a couple of weeks, they know all the kids' names because it's the kids. It's the same kids. They know the route by heart.
Bus drivers have the opportunity to either work full-time or part-time. No matter their hours, all drivers are eligible for benefits. Drivers must apply for the job before October 31st in order to receive the bonus. You can learn how to apply by heading to our website, KSAT.com. Haley Powers, KSAT 12 News.
As more students return to class, we are highlighting individuals and organizations that are making a difference. Our Solutionaries live stream will be tonight, and this episode is all about school. The goal of Solutionaries is to find results to a problem and showcase the creative answers. Stephen Cavazos has a story about food insecurity, and he's going to tell you how local school districts are feeding students year-round. You can tune in at 6 on the YouTube Solutionaries channel to see all of our Solutionaries stories.
All right, we got a solution for lots of fun for you this afternoon.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there he is.
It's
right there. There's
back to school week again here at SA Live. And today we have got the Spirit Group from Madison High School. The cheerleaders, the Phillies, and the Dollies. Boy, they have got a lot of spirit. We're going to talk to them and chance for you to meet them coming up, right?
Meet the Mavs next Wednesday. Make sure to come out, and we're going to have the best tacos and tortas around. Monkey's Tortas, you already know.
Her dad's food truck is going to be there. Way to plug Dad's food truck there. So, all right, also out there at Madison High School is a great magnet program about agri-science. Actually, one of these gals has been a part of it. We're going to show you, and look at that. Agri-science, there is not an animal or dirt in sight, but that's all part of it. Great program out there. Also, a wonderful deal of the day. We have got free school supplies, haircuts, everything you need for back to school. We will tell you all about that. And how about a great extracurricular activity? Fiona, what you doing?
Well, we have an after-school program that helps kids with confidence and discipline at school. We're here at Premier Martial Arts, and we're going to give you a preview of what your kids can learn and how they can defend themselves.
And speaking about extracurricular activities, get out your phone, get ready to scan, because we have got that question. What was your favorite extracurricular activity? How about some cookies instead of apples? How about just apple-shaped cookies? We have got a great, and where you can get them coming up here this weekend. Y'all want a cookie?
Yeah!
We got extras. All right. It's the Madison Mavericks here on SA Live.